Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lee and today we're going to go through my 2025 planning experiments, talk about what worked, what didn't work, and what I'm bringing forward into 2026. So it's just going to be a casual flip through, looking at things and kind of analyzing how my planning has changed throughout the year based off of my needs and just personal experiences. Planning is an ever-changing hobby, I feel like. Sometimes something will work really well and then it gets stale and you gotta switch it up. And there's nothing wrong with that, honestly. It is part of the fun in, the whole thing is trying new stuff. So we're gonna get right into it with the beginning of the year, which was the Sterling Ink Common Planner. This is the N1 size. I got the compact and I thought this was gonna be my catch-all planner for the year, and I got about 6 months through. So let's open it up and see what happened. Now, I truly do love this planner. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's well designed. There's a few things that I wasn't a huge fan of, but it's really just kind of nitpicky stuff that's my own personal whatever. But starting off the first week, I got the vertical layout, which I think was part of the reason I didn't keep up with it, because time blocking is not very practical for me. I am a work from home mom. I have a toddler. He's gonna be 2 in just a couple months. And our days never go to plan. If you are a parent, you understand what I'm talking about, because you can, put it all down that we're gonna be here by this time and do this and do that. And then next thing you know, your toddler's tearing apart the house or throwing a tantrum or gets sick. Like, there's just so many things. So I started off the year very strong with the time blocking. You can see I was using highlighter for his naps. I was using pen to block out what times I work and all this stuff. I had my to-do list at the bottom, and this worked really well for quite a while. I tried different layouts with like stickers and things like that, and I love the look of it. I think it makes the page very full, which is really cool. I like adding highlighter to section things off, make it pop a little bit more. You can see I really started to put down my to-do list. Looks like that was tax season, so that makes sense. And then I transitioned in March to doing a bit more extensive planning. I think this is when I was breaking things down in like 30-minute increments. Like, I was really nitty-gritty planning my day. And while that's cool, once again, it didn't always work out. And I feel like it led to a lot of disappointment on my end. Here you can see I started experimenting with putting some graphs in the bottom. And I do really like this. I love seeing a quick overview of the week and just at a glance what changed. I think I want to bring back some more budgeting stuff, because this is something I really want to be aware of. And it's good just to keep an eye on. You can see I would keep my budget at the top here of how much money I had spent and like how much was remaining in my budget. I'm pretty sure that's how I did it. Maybe not, because now that I'm looking, maybe, I don't know, it's hard to tell. But in this section, I started doing priority. So I'd have one big task that I try to do every day. I write down my intention, my to-do list, and then all of my stats and what we were having for dinner. This is very structured, very structured. And while it's beautiful, and I'm sure it could work for some people, I think this led me to feeling a bit overwhelmed and like I was doing more planning than I was doing. I was very accountable for what was going on, and I can see, here we go, I dropped off a little bit. And when I came back into it, there's no highlighting. It's more nitty-gritty to-do lists and time blocking. And I think it's really interesting how the busier you are, the less aesthetic and the less structured I feel like my planner becomes, maybe just for me. But it's because I'm busy doing the thing instead of planning about the thing, which, I don't know. There's a good balance that you can reach though, for sure. So here you can see things went back, absolutely no highlighting here. This is very bare bones. I just have a to-do list and a little bit of time blocking. This is where my son ripped the page. I tried to come back with the highlighter and the to-do list, and then we're done. We're done. There's nothing else. Very scant. And yeah, so I got about 6 months through this planner before it stopped working for me. At the back of the planner, I really want to go through and take a second look at some of this stuff because I did really like having this budget section. You can see I'd go back here each week and write off my budget, what I was spending and saving. And I'm doing something a little different for my budget this next year. I don't know if I'll talk about it today or in my next video, but yeah, I do miss some of these spreads that I made. Here I was trying to gamify my life and I made a changing daily schedule so I could adjust accordingly what time I was going to do what things to play around with like my ideal routine. Here I was tracking my lotto tickets. That was fun. But yeah, I do love this planner, and you can see in the back here, I started experimenting with the idea of bullet journaling. So this was, 6 months into the year, I started experimenting with a different type of layout with a to-do list on the side, my meal plan, and then a to-do list on the column, which leads us into my current and the next stage in my planning. So this is my traveler's notebook. If you've been around my channel, if you've been around my channel, you know this is my child. I love my traveler's notebook very much. I've got some patches I want to add to the outside. Let me know if you've ever done that because I'm kind of struggling. This first notebook is my journal and thoughts diary. And here is where I created a bullet journal. And this is what I'm probably going to continue into 2026. I have had so much fun with this bullet journal, and I found so much value in it that has brought me a lot of joy. So here you can see July, I kind of started it up again, and I was being very casual with things, not super decorated. I just had random stickers that I was putting in all over the place. Then we go to August. Once again, very minimal. I have all these stickers I got forever ago and I was trying to use them up. So if this isn't the most aesthetic right now, trust me, it gets better. But I was in a slump and I was giving myself permission to just play around and make something that wasn't necessarily beautiful, but it just did the job. And this is how it continued, kind of a to-do list fashion until we get to October. Here is where the tide turns. October, I had the energy, I had the mental capacity to be creative again, which was really nice. Sometimes you get into a slump and you just gotta be messy and ugly like back here before you can get back to your creative side. So this was October. I went for a green theme. I had all these plants, and this is where you can see the horizontal layout I was experimenting with in my common planner coming through. So I have all of the events and our dinner plans for that night on one side, to-do list in this little column. I've got a big to-do list, and then this I was working with potty training my son, so the open space over here kind of just becomes a catch-all for whatever it is I'm interested in that week or doing that week, and it has worked really well because of the flexibility that it's a bullet journal and I can change it, and also just having an entirely blank page is really nice. I have garden notes here because I got a plot at our local community garden, which I am in love with. And this is just a rough overview of where I put all of my seeds and my plans for when they sprout and all that stuff. They are doing very well. My broccoli and Brussels sprouts are thriving. My onions and leeks are doing okay, except for my son keeps stepping on the onions because they're still so small he doesn't see them. He steps on all the plants if we're being honest, but regardless, I just have some space here. I was playing with things. I was trying to write down as many dinner ideas as I could come up with for like a menu kind of thing. It's really nice for my now husband and I, when we're meal planning, I'll give him like a menu. I'll be like, okay, pick something because If I ask him what he wants for dinner, 100% he's gonna say burritos every time. And while I also love burritos, we need other things to eat for dinner. So having this listed out really helps us remember, oh, that's right, we tried that one butter chicken recipe that was really good. Let's do it again, which, by the way, is delicious. I did it in an instant pot. Anyway, moving on into November, I switched up again, but still really artsy. I've got this beige theme. I'm still sticking with pretty much the same layout. Maybe switching up a little bit on the sides, but yeah, it's been consistent this whole time with the vertical. I think this is considered like Hobonichi style, although I know a lot more people do horizontal besides Hobonichi. This I need to fill out still because November just ended, but I want to print out pictures from the month of like our highlight reel. I think that would be really cute. Here's the tracker. So you can see the coffee and water I switched up into line graphs, and I really notice that the day I have the most energy is when I'm drinking the less coffee. Probably because I got more sleep and I don't need as much coffee. And then you can see over here, my sleep got super messed up. My son had a really bad stomach virus and he was waking up at night, throwing up. I was holding him so he could sleep, and it was really hard. It was really hard. And my poor little guy just, toughed right through it. You couldn't even tell that anything was wrong during the day. It was just at night. His tummy really wasn't agreeing with him. But I do notice a lot of really interesting correlations. One thing, I need to drink so much more water. This is based off of Stanley's. I think I have like a 30-ounce Stanley, and if I drink one Stanley, that's considered one. Oh, sounds like my son dropped his fork. I need to drink more water. I think a lot of people can relate to that fact. And now we're into December, and I'm kind of going for an icy snow theme. This is the current week that we are on. What's working really well for me right now is having a to-do list, having dinners, and then putting whatever dinner we're having on the side here. So that way I know what to defrost out of the freezer, what I need to prep, all that kind of stuff. When I plan out the month, I don't plan every spread. I just put the week label at the top, and then the week of I can come in and change it. And this is nice because if I do ever feel the need to try out a vertical layout, I can do that. It's not cemented for the whole month. It's week by week, case by case situation, which I was avoiding beforehand when I was getting pre-made planners because I didn't want to have to do the setup. I had done bullet journaling for years. I have stacks of Leuchtturms under my bed. And while I liked it, I felt like it was too much work. But this layout, maybe it's the smaller size too. Oh, Pixie. My cat decided to walk all over the filming area. Anyway, I think because it's a smaller format and I'm doing it very simple, it is working out well. It is nice also to kind of sit down, put on a show and just draw lines, especially when I am setting up the monthlies. So for now, I'm enjoying it. I've been doing it for a few months consistently, and I plan on carrying this into 2026. And here you can see what day I'm filming this, but this is the habit tracker for December. And I messed up because originally I didn't have anything written here. I was just like having fun with stickers. I was putting all my Serica Studio stickers everywhere, and I forgot that I have to write my habits and everything. So I goofed a little bit, but I made it work. I had to peel up a sticker that was right here and move it because it was totally blocking the area, but ugh, yikes. This page I'm also so proud of. I want to do a low buy year next year, and part of that is replacing my shopping habits with activities and free stuff to do, because there's so many free things to do. I just get sucked into an idea, or I need this one thing right now to do a project or whatever, and then I go shopping, and next thing I know, I've spent my whole day hunting around the mall for one thing to get the best deal. It's a whole thing. I'm working on it. nobody's perfect, but I thought it'd be fun to write out what cozy winter experiences I want to do to help me save money and to just have a really cozy, mindful life. That's one of the things. I have my core values written in the front here, and one of them is mindful. This is just a reminder of things I want to practice in my life. I want to be mindful, I want to be patient, I want to prioritize life experiences, I want to be kind, I want to grow, be frugal, be active, and be optimistic. And am I all of those things every day? Absolutely not, but I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be more aware of it. And I feel like this is definitely a mindful and a frugal thing to do, and it's so cute. I love it. I just find pictures on Pinterest and print them on sticky paper if anybody's curious about that. And I'm almost done with, yeah, I've got just a few pages left of this notebook before it's full. And back here, this is where I put my drawings. So this is one of my broccoli sprouts that's in my garden. And this is a plumeria that was growing in our garden and a zinnia. I also was doing coloring pages with my son, and so I put this coloring page in here. And this was really fun to do, just sit down with my highlighters and get creative. And yeah, just kind of goofy doodles. The back of the book is always kind of my safe place where I want to try something, but I don't want it in the front of the book. Although also ironically, the front of my book is just god-awful because I wasn't being super serious with my decorations and everything. So this was what I'm ending the year with, but I've got one more thing I want to show you. Yep. Yes, I'm so good. This is my A6 planner that I got from a cloth and paper sub box. You may have remembered from one of my videos I talked about how I failed because I was trying not to spend any money, and then cloth and paper released something beautiful and I couldn't resist. But that's gonna be one of my rules for next year's no cloth and paper purchases, because I love their brand so much, but it's very expensive. And honestly, I don't really end up using it too much. So this was a little experiment that I did where I got some blank paper off Amazon and I printed up my own little things. This was very much inspired by Megan Rhiannon. So you can see this is June. I was trying this. I guess I probably should have put this in the middle. Anyway, I was trying out doing planning and journaling in here with just printing things up. And you can tell I didn't really keep up with it. Some of it was cool, kind of fun to play around on Canva with different pictures and things that they have, but it just, printing stuff up every day and not physically writing wasn't it for me. So I got some A6 inserts from that sub box that I was playing around with because they had a few, oh, you can see this is covered in flour. They had a few different ones. They had daily ones in there, which were kind of fun. A few different weeklies, which, let's see, I don't even know. Yeah, most of these I didn't even use because I could not stand this size. It's just way too small. But I am keeping this because this has become my new recipe binder, which I'm gonna have to refresh. I want to take these pages out and make this totally dedicated to food and recipes because, check this out. So I created my different categories. This is dinner. And I wrote down in Canva and printed out our favorite recipes. And look how convenient this is to have on your counter while you cook. Because when I have a cookbook or when I used to use a big binder for my recipes, it took up so much space that I just don't have on my counter. But this, it's the size of a note card and it's super easy. I can even prop it up like that if I wanted to. So this is really cool, and I really want to dedicate more time to copying more recipes in here that we use all the time because I'm always exploring Pinterest and looking up new recipes that we like. And some of these I still need to try. And then we have the bread category. And see, these are the things I need to kind of update and work on, like the tabs. But the bread category, because bread is a category all its own, there's focaccia pancake mix, which I consider bread. I guess it's technically a cake. Bagel recipe, pizza dough recipe, which that pizza dough recipe we use all the time. We do it on the barbecue so the house doesn't get a million degrees. It's very fun. And then baking, because sweets are different than bread. And this is where I've got brownies, chocolate chip cookies, all those fun things. And I just have some blank paper at the back. I just went to check on my son and he had shoved his entire banana in his cup. I am keeping an eye on him while I'm filming. I'm just cutting it out, so don't worry, he's not eating unsupervised. I am watching him. But yeah, he just had his whole banana shoved into his little sippy cup. So anyway, I digress. This A6 is going to be my recipe binder, so I would like to dedicate a bit more time to doing this up, and I'm going to try not to invest too much in it. I have more paper, like cardstock paper and vellum paper that I can try to use to make my own dividers, which actually, now that I think about that, that's a really good idea. I want to do that very soon. But anyway, I want to put a little bit more intention into this. And I really want to dial in our cooking meal plan situation for 2026 because I am learning more and more since becoming a mom and being a stay-at-home wife who also works. I work almost full-time at this point. The less mental energy I can spend on cooking and cleaning, the happier a whole family will be, which I've got a few strategies I might share with you guys at another point. But that is my experiments for 2025. I am also including a passport, but I'm not going to show that right now because it already has my 2026 setup in there. But when I show you my 26 setup video, I will go through all of that. So thank you for sticking to the end of the video. If you're curious about the personal life stuff, I got married, so I haven't been posting for a while because the wedding and being a mom, it was just taking up too much of my time for me to prioritize YouTube, which made me really sad and I missed it. But we had our wedding in November. It was beautiful. It rained, but it made it more romantic and special in a way. The photos came out gorgeous. It's very autumnal. My dress was perfect. My husband was very handsome. It was just a great time. So now that the wedding's over and I have the mental energy to come back to YouTube, I hope to be posting more consistently. If you do want to see more of my videos, leave a like and subscribe and shoot me a comment about what you want to see from my channel in 2026. I would love to know. I'm very much exploring how to manage a household, how to be a well-balanced human, how to meal plan and prep, and also my garden. If you guys want to see my garden, let me know because it's pretty exciting. I have an 18 by 20 plot at a local community garden and I'm planning on putting garden beds in. We're gonna put our wedding arch in there to create a trellis. It's gonna be beautiful. Okay, now my cat is shaking the camera, so I'm gonna take that as a sign to head out. Thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.